when you learned about manifestation, and you learned that when I visualize being with somebody or having something, I can attract that, and then you think, wait, I have done that all of my life, why did I not get it yet? Every time I've been in love, I imagined being with that person, but still it was unrequited, for example. What happened there? This cannot work, this cannot be right. Then this video is for you. I have to admit, when I learned about visualization, about we can manifest something, and that everything we can visualize is a reality in multiple timelines, and we can have that timeline, we can experience that, I was wondering, wait, I was daydreaming all of my life. I'm a dreamer. I've always been in my head. Why didn't so much of that stuff that I was daydreaming about not come true? It's a good question, right? I mean, if you visualize and spirit is like, okay, you can have it, we give it to you, and then it doesn't happen, it kind of like disproves that visualization can get you where you want. But then I realized, wait, okay, it's not just a visualization I have to do to get what I want. May it be the money on my bank account, may it be my specific person, whatever it is, there must be more. I do believe that visualization does help, but it's one of the things. I know some YouTube channels, they say, oh, you have to visualize in order to get it. I believe it's just one channel. You can do the affirmations, you can do the scripting, you can do the daydreaming. There is different techniques, okay? You can do the inner dialogue. You can, if you have problems really visualizing things, you can imagine talking to your best friend on the phone and telling your best friend, oh, my person reached out, or whatever it is. So that is a technique that you can use. There's different techniques, but they are not enough. When you have limiting beliefs in your subconscious, you can daydream all you want, you can visualize all you want, it will not get you there. You probably, something's tickling, I'm sorry. You probably know the metaphor about the iceberg. It's like 15% or 10-15% is on the top above the water, and the rest 85 to 90% is below the water. And that is similar to our subconscious and conscious. Our conscious beliefs are maybe like 15%, our subconscious, and then below that is the unconscious. Even it's a way bigger part of ourselves, and if we have limiting beliefs in the unconscious or subconscious, those 15% with your conscious mind where you daydream is not strong enough to override the 85% below. It just won't work. So there is something else you need to do, and that is overriding the 85% in your unconscious or subconscious. And you do that by, first of all, finding your limiting beliefs. That is step number one. And you do that by, for example, finding like the red thread. If your person, for example, if it's about a person, your person is not available, then you probably have some kind of lack mentality or some kind of fear of abandonment, because you most likely have experienced some kind of abandonment. And very often it is a mother issue. It is often connected to your mother either not being very emotional, open, or there has been a separation between you and your mom because maybe she had to work very much, or maybe you had younger siblings and your mom didn't have all of that attention that first was placed on you, now is placed on a tiny baby. So that can be a loss of mother. Of course, it can be severe, like a death. It can be being separated because either you or your mom, for example, had to go to hospital when you were young, or any other thing. And also, of course, it could be you were often crying in your bed, in your crib, and your mom just didn't come to pick you up. It could be something like that as well, that she just wasn't very available. However, it's usually our mother where those issues start, because our mother is usually the first person to be our caretaker, to be the person to nurture us, to feed us, to take care of us. It's usually the first person we have the closest bond to. Of course, in some cases it could be someone else then it would more likely be related to that person, those fears of abandonment. But it's usually connected to mother. If you for example have issues with your father, that would more show up in like work. You're not getting the appreciation at work and school and something like that, mobbing being at work, because workplace is connected to the inner masculine we all have, whereas a relationship is connected to our inner feminine, and we have that. Doesn't matter what gender we are, we all have the inner child, the inner masculine, and the inner feminine. So relationship issues are connected to our inner feminine, which is connected usually to mother. So this is where I would start looking if there has been any stuff. And if you find that you can, for example, use the revision technique, you can use Ho'oponopono, you can use affirmation, whatever technique speaks to you, just do it regularly. That's so important. Again, I've been speaking to thousands of clients, and I've heard so many times, yeah, I've done my work. Then I ask, well, what did you do? Well, like 2 months ago I did this meditation, or I went to that healer, and it is not enough. It takes at least 21 to 60 consecutive days to override a belief system by doing your affirmations or your work daily. Again, I cannot stress it enough, daily. It does require daily work to change something in the subconscious. Another thing is, for example, if you feel like your person does not respect you in any way, then self-love is getting mirrored back to you, self-love issues. And that could be any cases. It could be, for example, again, your parents only praised you when you had the good grades, or it was always like, if you were an energetic child, it was like, you need to be quiet. Children don't have to be that loud, for example. It could be anything that limited your way of being, that you very early learned you're not good the way you are. It could be many different things. It could also be about how do you think about the way you look? How do you treat yourself? Are you able to set boundaries? Because if you don't set boundaries, if you always say yes to everything, we're telling spirit, we're telling our subconscious as well and our higher self, look, I don't deserve to be treated worthy. I don't treat myself that way. And I always say, it's not about going into like some kind of like a narcissism or egoism. That's the other extreme. There is a middle ground. If somebody needs our help, of course we help. But often it is not really necessary, and we don't feel well as well. And if you neglect our own needs, then how do you want to attract somebody who's taking care of your needs? It's not possible. It's a mismatch. So you have to step into your own self-worth. To me, that also means, are you working a job you love? Because it's not self-worth if you go 8 hours a day to a job you hate. It's not self-worth. Absolutely not. If you know about your self-worth, and you know that you are worth doing something you love. And so self-love can have so many facets. Do you sometimes treat yourself? And it doesn't have to be expensive things. Treat yourself could be, I turn my cell phone off and I have me time. Treating yourself could be, I don't know, sometimes buying the more expensive tea that you like better instead of always the cheapest one, even if you don't have a lot of money. You know, it's not about spending money you don't have, but we're talking about, yeah, once in a while I like that chocolate that is a bit more expensive. That could be treating yourself because you're worth it. It's not about, again, spending money you don't have. It can be the little things as well that tell your subconscious, look, I am worthy. Another thing you can do to find your limiting belief is you sit down and, for example, you write, what do I believe about love or that specific person, and or money, whatever it is, and then you just brainstorm and see what beliefs come up, the positive and the negative. And maybe you will find some beliefs that are not even yours. You know, the saying, money doesn't grow on trees. But so the thing is, money is paper, so it actually does grow on trees. So stupid inner belief. But it could be some that you were imprinted on, that were not only yours, but no matter where they came from, you try to find out, if you again write down the keyword, what does money mean? Or maybe you have inner beliefs that money is evil, that rich people are evil. And often in cartoons, for example, in kids series, if you notice, the rich people are usually the mean people, the bad people, and the poor people usually are the good people. So very early we get imprinted on that having money is something bad. But there's this saying, money doesn't change your character, it shows who you truly are. And it was something that I trained myself, for example, because I had not the belief that rich people are evil, but sometimes, maybe a little. Find examples that disprove that. There's so many rich people who do a lot of charity, not just for publicity. Sometimes you hear something about celebrities that do it because they honestly care, and they don't do it just because there's a camera in front of them. Imagine if you had money, what you could do with that money, how much good you could do with money. You could help people, and whatever it is, help the animals that go this thing, whatever it is. So having money is not a bad thing. Whatever the topic is, again, I was just talking about relationship, money, it could be anything. Try to find out what is your limiting belief, and then work with that. You can work with Ho'oponopono again, you can work with affirmation, but do your inner work to recreate those subconscious beliefs in your mind, to change those beliefs. And if you do that, you reprogram the 85% underneath. That may take a while, but as soon as you have done that work, then that is what is going to manifest, and then you can visualize being with your person. But if you have a fear of neglect, that fear, that subconscious or unconscious fear of things that may come from your early childhood, or there was this death that you never got over, whatever it is, as long as that is in your subconscious, you will not be able to manifest union with your person, the relationship of your dreams, because you have 85% working against 15%. And again, that makes sense, right? So you have to change those 85%, and then your visualizations, they can come true finally. So that is what you can do. If you were wondering, well, I have been manifesting all of my life, I have been visualizing, but it never came true because you had stronger limiting beliefs in your subconscious working against that. Well, if you want help to find your subconscious beliefs, I am available for personal coaching, and I'm sure we can find some of them and find the right technique for you. So you can reach out, I am available. And if this video helped you in any way, please like, subscribe, share, help me grow my channel, check out my other content, and yeah, I wish you all the best. Bye.